but it's one of the ones that I have the least on. NVIDIA, good. NVIDIA, I am buying more NVIDIA. The NVIDIA trade is not over. I know it's down over the last 3 months. NVIDIA will come back. NVIDIA is like Tesla. It will come back, right? Larry, come on. Yeah, no one's talking about that because I don't even know what that is, so I'm not even going to post that. Yes, sir. All right. Thoughts on ETH? ETH is a sleeper that I believe is going to come back this year, right? I don't think it's going to overtake Solana. I don't think it's going to overtake Sui, but it will come back if you're holding. I just think Solana and Sui are better than ETH. I think they're going to outperform ETH. I'm just giving you guys the truth. Larry, go to the money moves. Yeah. I will be over to the money moves. Okay, I will be over to the money moves, and before the market opens, like I always am. All right, should I say? Okay. Thoughts on one more, and then we're gonna leave it. Casper, Casper may be good, but it's not one that I've been heavy on. Remember, some of the ones that are popular, they're just, let me say this, because I know we have these armies out there. Some of the cryptos that are popular doesn't mean they're gonna run, okay? SoFi is doing well. Let me tell you something. SoFi is one of the ones that I buy weekly. Palantir, SoFi, Affirm, those, even though, it was looking like the interest rates were not going to lower. Those are good. And so I buy more. SoFi has a SoFi, PayPal. They have a great future to me, right? Anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. Okay. Any word on XRP? XRP is killing it. That's the word on XRP. XRP is killing it. And so is Sui. Good people, I'm drinking some coffee, right? All right. Hey, good people. I'm going to leave it right there. I don't want this one to be long. I will be back before you later today. And I may do a crypto only. But right now, I wanted to talk about the stock market, what's going on with it, stocks and crypto, but what's going on with the stock market. Listen, good people, for all of you that are in crypto, though I know right now in 2025, I believe it's easier to make money with crypto, don't forget your stocks, because the stocks are what you're going to be drawing from in retirement. Make sure you guys build a portfolio in the stock market, something in a retirement account. I suggest those retirement accounts. And I know I talk about Moo here, but I'm going to say in your retirement account, I would suggest you do a legacy broker like Fidelity, Schwab, that type of deal. And if you really want to partake in trading or buying warrants, you need to open another broker, and it needs to be a legacy broker. I tell you guys the truth, not just what you want to hear, okay? All right, good people. So listen, if you don't have Stock Up You, we just uploaded Trading with Ashley's we're going to be uploading her entire course starting today. You're going to see an entirely new chapter, okay? And we have the best crypto chapter there, right? Now, it's going up. The price is going up in February. So you got the rest of this month. Don't wait, because you're going to make money, all right? And so we got a lot. We are adding a lot to the class, right? Stock Up You. It's going to be the top link below. And my Money Moves Stock Crypto Club will be the second link under that. And then our $5 a day coffee under that. All right, good people. We love you guys. We'll see you later on today. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Have a blessed day.
Hey, Mr. Wonderful here, and I'm back with Teddy in his own store in Cleveland, Ohio. It's called Teddy's because there's Teddy. So Teddy on Teddy. But whenever I visit Teddy, wherever we are in the world, I always say, Teddy, look, I want you to show me some crazy pieces because I want eclectic, really crazy dials. Doesn't matter what the price is. This game is agnostic to price. Could be $500, could be 500,000. I don't care what the price is. I want crazy. And we've had a lot of fun with this. And I've asked Teddy to step up and do it again. Gets harder all the time, although watches are getting crazier. So there's always some crazy.
That's right.
So Teddy, here we are again on the crazy zone, which I love. Show me what you got.
So these are all right around under $5,000. Some of these are under $1,000. So we have a good mix and spread to show that you can get some crazy without spending crazy money.
Got it.
First watch here. So this is the cheapest one.
Also titanium, very, very
It's a
light.
grade 5 titanium too.
Yeah, different colors.
Different colors. So that one is a newer dial color. They originally launched with more traditional blue.
I like it. It's a very attractive face to it. Great price.
It's a UK brand, and I've heard and I've seen that Roger Smith is a fan of the brand, and he actually owns one, which is that's high praise.
Really?
I mean, that's high praise, right?
Really?
Yes.
Is it true though?
He posted on his Instagram that he has one.
Well, he's supporting the Brits.
So yeah, he is, of course.
Being one from the islands.
That's right. But still, he wouldn't do that for just anybody, even if he
No, I get
is talking about
No,
national.
I know he would never endorse unless he really felt the makers were something
Mm-hmm.
special, and they are in this case. Good for them. So really entry level for some very unique complications.
Yeah, so that is more expensive than the previous piece, but it's all relative to what is being presented. And
Got it.
for that
Love it.
complication,
Love it.
pretty
Okay.
cool.
What's next?
Next up, so this is a German brand. So this is from that same region of Glashütte, which we
Where all
talked
the
about.
watchmakers in Germany come
Yes,
from.
yes, exactly.
It's
So
in
this,
the water, obviously.
so this is Müller Glashütte. This is a brand, unlike many other brands. The name of the owner, their last name is still Müller. So they're independent, still family owned, multiple generations, producing in Glashütte. This is known as their SAR rescue timer. So they were approached. Originally, their history came from
Very
Marine
attractive.
Phenomena.
Very attractive.
And they wanted to create a watch for search and rescue missions for the search and rescue teams in Germany. This watch is crazy. It's 1,000 meters of water resistance. The crystal
Throw down crown.
the crystal for the sapphire is flown, but you can't see it. You see how it's flat? So they hide it, and then also you see the cyclops there. The
Yeah.
cyclops is hidden underneath. You know how Rolex does it? It's usually that bubbled little
Right.
effect.
So they did a reverse of it.
They put it underneath, so it doesn't add and it won't ship when they're on board ships.
Right.
So because they don't want it to crack.
So
these-
they're hiding it with this rubber bezel, right?
and that's weird too. I mean, a rubber bezel. I mean,
Yeah.
but that's also so it doesn't have any of these glancing blows when you're. So it's 2,500. It has a hooded lug design. You have
Yeah.
also the rubber there, and let me show you this lume dial. So with Super Luminova as a base for the dial, and then they'll cover it with the indices and the markers.
This is very, very good.
There's nothing else like it, right?
Yeah, nothing. I've never seen like this whole rubber bezel thing's kind of nice.
it's weird. It's
Beautiful.
weird.
Very, very attractive. Clean.
Mhm.
Nice.
Now we move into something real. Comes out star. So this was
Which is a well-known event. I
Mhm.
mean, that design is well-known.
places like India. This is coming up when you make it. What they love. A few things I'll call attention to. What made this watch such an impactful piece when it was released in 1962 was its scratch resistance. It had high resistance on this kind of shroud on the outside, but it also had a sapphire crystal, which in those days was pretty rare.
Right.
This is going back to that original design. No, it's
I've
called
always thought this design was the Jetsons. It's a 60s kind of fashion statement that's come back, retro. Some people call it vintage.
Mhm.
Reissued, obviously.
It's under $1,600. And another thing I'll call attention to. So look at it from the side with the crystal, but look at it from like this angle. Do you see anything with that crystal?
Yeah.
They're stepping the crystal. So the sapphire is cut. Also, one other thing I'll call attention to. You see how reflective this is?
How?
So that's the great part about it. So Rado is known for their use of ceramics. So this is known as Ceramos, which is the material here. So it's a creation made by them.
Yeah.
But the hardness of this is around 1,700 Vickers per text. Stainless steel, 150 to 200. So you're talking the hardness.
much like steel.
And you won't scratch.
Yeah.
So that's the beautiful thing about it.
It is automatic.
Yep. 80-hour power reserve, $1,600 just underneath
A
that.
very, very interesting piece for that price.
And you look at that from across the room because we always, I know you mentioned you're a dial guy, but I also think about case silhouette.
No, I think it's fantastic. It's rare Jetsons. It's the 1960s Jetsons. Love it. That's one of my favorites so far.
Okay, all right. Well, we have more to see. Next, we go back to a brand. This is Tissot.
Yeah.
So Tissot, they
Know
have
the brand very well.
yes. So this is a newer creation of last year. It's known as their Citadel. So you have regatta timer functionality on these watches. I don't do much yacht racing myself, so I don't know much about that. But forged carbon case. So take a look at that. It's got very playful colors.
Yeah.
You see like this 1960s,
And
70s
these bands are
inspiration.
probably swappable.
They are. What they were doing, and they spent so much time. One of the hardest parts about this watch, other than the case, creating that case, because you can very rarely see this case material at this price point because it's around $1,000.
Yeah.
But this, they spent so much time trial and error. If you want to just put that on your wrist, just feel like how comfortable that rubber strap is.
It does have a unique feel to it. It doesn't have the same kind of rigidity the traditional rubber band has.
And you slide it through. So you slide it through there. Yep. And then you just simply pull it through, and then you just find any one of those holes. So it's very easy to adjust the different sizes, and you pop it in one of those holes, and then you have it. It's pretty comfortable. But he gave it to every single one of the people on the design staff to wear it around.
And they did?
Yes, and they tried to trial and error to figure out what was the most comfortable, and this is what they came out with.
And they could swap to.
So so this one,
well, they're matching it to some red,
but it's probably the most understated when it comes to the central dial. You can kind of see compared
to red. I mean, they're wise to make a red band.
Oh, hey, they know, they know.
The blue's also nice, but
typically just buy the one, simple unit with its configuration with the strap. But if you did want to get an additional strap,
So watchmakers never care much to protect refuse. It's all changing. You even think collectible are making because of demand. I want to try something else in the summer.
Brand called Mito. So Mito, Swiss.
You're kidding.
Swiss.
Okay.
So you look at this, you're like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on that dial.
So there's a few things going on here. One is this is their Ocean Star GMT, but what they've done is on the outside, so with the use of that additional hand for 24 hours, you can have some world time functionality. So you can rotate this bezel, line it up with the right time zones. You have a view.
It's great to be able to do it. Practically no one does. But
yes. And if you're doing business, hey, I'm talking to the man who has 2 different watches on reserve.
Yeah.
So maybe you should be a world timer guy. I don't know. Might have to talk you into.
I have plenty of world timers, but I love having 2 watches.
I know you do. I know you do. And then this is a decompression scale, so not really useful nowadays.
No, but
this
it
is for
gives a
divers.
very interesting look. Let's have a closer look here.
So how that would work is you would take in nitrogen when you're underneath
this
water.
This is like dartboard. It's nuts.
Yeah, so that would just time your decompression, because if you come out from these submerged environments too
Screw
quickly,
down crown.
screw down crown, yes.
World timer. There's so much going on here.
Yep.
Wow.
Legibility, I'll say it's maybe not its strong suit.
No, it's not.
But
Never mind about telling the time, because you won't be able to. It doesn't matter. But that's really quite something. Mito.
Yes.
Very interesting.
And it's also, we'll call that a flyer GMT or a true GMT. So in the first position.
That's beyond GMT. That's crazy.
Yes, but when you take out the crown position, I mean, this is what a lot of people, when you think about Rolex or Tudor, why they like those watches, is at the first position, you can move the local hour hand.
Copied that. I love that about Rolex. They've done a great job. It really lets you adjust immediately.
Getting this for under $1,500.
It's fantastic. And now the FP Journe Ripoff edition.
Oh, please. All right, so this is Louis Erard. So Louis Erard is a name that goes back a long time, but they've now relaunched and really have done some cool things with more of these artisanal practices in Swiss watchmaking.
Yeah.
Here is what they have, one of their stone dials. So
it's a stone dial?
It's a stone dial.
What's the price?
This is a lapis dial. So this is in your $3,000 to $4,000 range.
Yeah,
so
$4,000. It's very hard to do this, to cut the stone, and the
central hand solely. Then you have your seconds down here, so it splits it up.
I like this a lot. It reminds me of the Aqua.
The dial gives her typically something you don't see.
Okay, that's here. Right.
I'm going to have you pick your top 3 at the end.
Yeah, I will.
More time. So this came out at Watches and One.
A bit of press.
Yeah, a lot about this. So this is their Pro Pilot X, but this is Herman edition. Partially because of the green, but also if you take a look at that date wheel.
Yeah.
At the top of every month, what you're able to do when it comes to the first of the month, and this is, nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for a cartoon frog, but we got a cartoon frog. So Kermit the Frog appears on the dial at the first of every month.
They had to license that?
They did. Apparently, it was a nightmare, as you know.
This thing, even Rolex has gone into this now with the emoji watch.
Yeah, have some fun.
The puzzle, it's just it is fun, and this is a crazy color.
And I was talking to the CEO. I'm like, why do you put?
You've been backing Oris for a while, though. You like it?
They're really cool brands. Titanium case, exactly. It's a caliber 403, 5-day power reserve for that movement.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, it's a. You're going to get some comments on this. Screw down.
Screw down crown. So caliber 400, 5-day power reserve, screw down crown, 100 meters of water
It's
resistance.
nice. It's really nice. It's a unique look. There's no question about it.
And one other thing, because this comes from Pilot Inspiration, take a look at the clasp. Take a look at the clasp.
Ooh,
Look at that. What does that remind you of?
that's crazy.
It's like a seatbelt,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
It's like when you're going on an airline.
So they've kind of done an airline knockoff
Yeah.
thing, right?
Isn't that cool? So you just lift it up, and that's your clasp. So you just lift
Let me
that up.
see.
Yep. Boom.
Beautiful.
And you get Kermit.
Very light piece too.
Yeah, titanium is great wear.
Very easy to wear.
You talk about starting a conversation. You see that green.
No,
and
I
then
definitely. I think you're going to grab some eyes with that. I mean, it may be a little. It's sporty-ish.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking tuxedo with the greens, pretty funky chick.
That would be a funky chicken if you wore that with a tux.
Yeah, I like it though. Very nice. Very interesting. One last on the hit parade.
So if you could let me just explain a little bit about this, because this is an insane
I've seen
watch.
this piece. I saw it last year at Watch Time in New York,
Mhm.
and it was smoking hot.
So this comes from a brand first. Now it's a totally different brand. So this is known as the Mad One, but this comes from Max Busser. Max Busser formerly was at Harry Winston Watch Division, blew it up, and then he was crazy to start his own brand,
Yeah.
known as MB&F.
Yeah.
MB&F starting price is around $60,000. They're known for their horological machines, legacy machines, but one thing he was mentioning to me is what hurts him the most is the fact that he wants to create just these absurd creations that are part of his creativity, but he doesn't make watches for the people that are closest to him, that he loves. And what he did originally first was design a watch for his friends and family, people that were the early
Did he
patrons.
include that in his vision?
So what he did was he first came out with the first Mad One edition. This was a private release. It was not made public.
This is the Mad One?
This is the Mad One, but the first one, he didn't have any intention to go public. He only gave it to his customers, some of the people that supported him along the way.
What was the price at that time?
well, there was no price. It was a gift,
Right, okay.
but he just made it.
Right.
But then, as you know, people found out that he made it. And then people that followed him were like, wait, I've been following you. I can't afford any of your watches. And now you've made something that I could potentially afford and I can't have it. What is going on?
So that was the buzz at Watch Time.
Yes.
It was a big buzz.
So what he did after that was he finally made available the Mad One to the public. He had a
That's
lottery system.
That's what this one is?
That is what this one is. Now, there's
Okay.
been a couple different
How
color
many did he
iterations. I don't know the exact number. It was a couple thousand, I believe, though, in that range.
Yeah.
And it was all lottery. So you had to submit, and it was all chance to
Right.
be able to get one. Now, these trade above retail, so if we're going to get into price, it can get a little bit weird. But they started right under $3,000, right
And
under
now what are they
$3,000.
trading for?
In the 5 to 8 range, depending
Okay,
on
so
what
he
model.
had good appreciation.
Good appreciation.
Why not? He created something unique.
So this watch follows the form of some of their horological machines. And I'll show you how it works. Now, one, you're looking at this and like, what is going on here? So they're taking a Miyota caliber. So it's an industrialized product. And why he chose a Miyota caliber is what he wanted was this rotor to spin. So it's a unidirectional rotor.
Right.
So it'll spin like a battle axe just very quickly. It's tungsten, so it rotates, and also titanium. So you have the weight for the tungsten to rotate freely. And you're probably asking, okay, that's really cool. How the hell do I tell the time?
You don't.
Well, so when you wear this on your wrist, here, I'm going to put this on your wrist here, if you would like. You put this on. Go ahead. Look like this into the watch, like straight down. You see this indication in that little white?
Yeah.
You have 2 aluminum discs that rotate. One is for the hours, one is for the minutes. So that top is your hours, low is the minutes.
That's interesting.
So they'll spin and rotate. And that's
So
how you
this
look
is
all the
more
time.
of the, the excitement, the optical excitement. But you can also tell the time by just
You can't tell the time. Because, look at that on your wrist. It's insanity.
And is this also powering the watch?
And it's powering the watch. So that rotor is powering the watch. And then he modified it to a crazy degree. There's no hands. There are these aluminum discs on the
It's
outside.
very interesting.
Right? And it matches too today.
Now, rumor has it he's going into another series like this, right?
So he did a green one just previously. It was a few months ago that he did that. There was a lottery system as well. Those I'm quite sure have sold all the way through. But this was the red version that came out, which has been sold. It's been out for a few years now.
Very cool. I think I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I haven't met him yet. I'm sure I will at Watch Time again.
Max Busser is one of the most impressive people I think I've ever met in the industry. He's a phenomenal man.
And under 5,000.
Starting price is right around 3,000 Swiss francs.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Well, let's get down to what are the top 3. That's very, very interesting. There's no question about it. I'm going to tell you right out of the gate. You have to pick the ones. I'm not saying which is number one, but right out of the gate for sure, this is one of the.
Auto Diastar.
Oh yeah, that's just a spectacular piece, and I just love that. I just love the look of that.
This is tough. I'm looking at this now.
Yeah,
Thinking
no,
for
it's
you.
very, very tough. It's very, very tough. I mean, Funky Chicken, I'm going to go there.
You're going Kermit?
Yeah, going Kermit.
You're
And that's
Kermit?
pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And now it gets hard.
It's a tough field.
Yeah, it is. But I have to tell you, I think what they've done with this style is really fantastic. So there they are.
The Mule. Okay, so we have a Mula.
Yeah.
We have the Oris.
Yeah.
And then we have the Rado Diastar.
And number one, right here.
Rado Diastar wins out.
It wins out.
Why is that?
Because it is so retro, yet striking, yet modernized, yet a unique dial.
Mm-hmm.
And case. In this watch, this presentation, the case is the dial.
It's an extension, right?
It's
it
an
all,
extension.
it all
And
forms
that's
together.
kind of rare. That's kind of rare, and it's kind of unique. But you're really talking retro when you walk around with this, and people know it for what it is. I mean, but it's been modernized. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful, and at a great price. I mean, it kind of gets me into the zone of what's going on now. You think of what happened with the crash, the Cartier crash.
Sure.
Which is now one of the most expensive vintage watches in the world. It's an eclectic design that you can't miss. This qualifies for that.
You can see it from across the room, and you can see that case silhouette. It's that.
Certain cases become their own brand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened with this. And the fact that it's gone into the Indian culture makes total sense to me. But again, Teddy, you've done a fantastic job here. And this, of course, this is beautiful too. I mean, this is an acquired taste.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question, but you're really saying something about Dial. You're going to get a lot of conversations with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think he's done a great job. I'll have to meet him at Watch Time, talk to him about this, see what I can do, because it's interesting. There's nothing like this in my collection. This is probably going to make its way into my collection.
The Rado Diastar. Okay, all right, interesting. I mean, it is cool. I mean, that on TV, I can imagine just popping. Like
I
crazy.
think it'll be great. It's going to be challenging to put a red band on it for TV.
Because you do have the hooded lug design. I mean, you could probably squeeze something in there. We could, you can see what you can do, but it'll be a little tough.
I can't wear it unless it's got a red band, but it would look good. You're picking up the logo in red, so it's very nice. Fantastic, Teddy. You did a great job.
Just when I thought I figured it out, Kevin.
No, but
me some picks.
Well, you got to keep everything different and changing. But this is fantastic. We should always do this segment every once in a while because there's more and more crazy watches coming. Thank you.
Pleasure's always.
Great. Spectacular. They have a boutique within a boutique there. Glass of white Burgundy, maybe a second glass of Burgundy. We're having a good time talking about watches. Yada yada, woof woof woof. I bought 4 Tudors that day.
And you have 3 of them in front of you right now.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Wonderful here. Again, back with Teddy. We do these sessions together to talk about what we both love, which is watches. Now, this is a series of new pieces that come into my collection, and they're relevant because many of them for the first time showed up on Shark Tank season 14. So I thought I'd go through it with Teddy. But what's interesting here is quite a few of them are because of Teddy. I never bought low-end entry pieces. I was only a collector of high-end investable timepieces. And he got me into some of these brands that I never thought I would touch, including stuff like Tudor, which I thought to me was poor man's Rolex. I have a completely different appreciation of it now. And I have 4 new Tudors. We'll talk about that. But also my key to all collecting, and Teddy knows this, is dial. Sure technology matters, sure caliber matters, sure history matters. But if the dial doesn't speak to me, I don't buy it, I don't collect it. And what's so incredible, Teddy, is the dials that you found for me in these low-end entry brands.
You have some incredible ones. I'm looking at that Anordain. I'm looking at some of these Tudors. I mean, and also the use of material too. You've got some bronze, you have ceramic, silver. So you're even extending beyond dial. I think you're also finding some pretty eclectic uses of different case materials that make these different and shine when you're talking about an affordable budget. Because when I think of what can brands do at an attainable range, 2 things. They're usually bound by the movement, and they don't have that many options unless they can produce things vertically within their own manufacturing process. So they have to look at cases. That's a way to differentiate. and then also their dials, like you mentioned. So I think those are the two areas when you're looking at these attainable ends, but they can separate themselves. So I'll follow your lead. I mean, you have some amazing
Sure,
things
but
here.
let's talk about Anordain, because I didn't even know about these makers. And by the time this was over, they made a one-of-a-kind, Mr. Wonderful, red band, red dial. The dial's amazing. Shark Tank exclusive. Tell me about them.
So Anordain was founded in 2015 in Scotland, and what they're known for is enamel dials. So enameling is using powdered glass in this just oven and baking it. The rate in which there's a lot of failure is quite high with enamel because you're trying to get these beautiful textures and different array of colors. This one has this fire truck red, I think they call it, and it's just beautiful. You have to put your name on everything, Mr. Wonderful.
I did, and it says right at the bottom, Mr. Wonderful. I think it makes it priceless. But I must say, when I put this on my wrist, I remember the day we were shooting it, Lori's on my left. She always looks at my watches, and she leaned over and said, "What the hell is that?"
Really? She said that?
She was blown away. She said, "That's incredible. Maybe look at that." She loves my pieces, but this one was a huge hit on the set of Shark Tank.
And it's $2,000. It's in the $2,000 range.
And nobody asked what it cost. They just kept talking about the dial, which is what I'm all about. So I felt pretty good about that. Let's go somewhere else to an extraordinary piece. This is a very, very limited edition. I recently became an Emirati citizen, so I'm very honored. I did that for financial services that I work in and all around the world. But many of the watchmakers make special series for the 50th anniversary. UAE, United Arab Emirates, is only 50 years old. This is one of those pieces. Now, Teddy, you know this brand. Let's talk.
It's strange because it's almost the timing of this is crazy because I just released a video on my channel looking at Nevada Grenchen. So this is their Chronomaster. This is their Aviator Sea Diver, which is a mouthful of a name, but it kind of gives the idea of what this watch is about. Chronograph, diving functionality, bidirectional bezel, and it also has some aviation themes in terms of what it's going for. So it's kind of this hodgepodge of all this craziness going on. This is a brand that has roots back to the early 20th century, but a gentleman that is involved in the watch industry, worked at JLC, worked at Zenith prior, and he started making all of these new brands and bringing them back to life. He has Vulcain, he has Excelsior Park, but Nevada Grenchen was the one that first caught on, and this is just their Chronomaster collection. Why this is also so cool. Talking about 38 millimeter case for a chronograph.
But also one of the very few made for the UAE. This is the only one in North America and the only one in the world with a red band.
I've not seen that one yet in person. So that's the Arabics on the side.
Yes,
It's different. Very cool.
Also, let's talk about where this started as brand awareness. South Pole. Yes, this was the first watch to be worn by Navy explorers to the South Pole.
Yeah.
Very
Very
high quality.
Very
Wonderful. Let's go. Let's pick up that Rolex right there. I'll let you explain why this Rolex is unique.
So Rolex, let's be frank, sometimes they don't take the most daring risk with their designs. But
You don't say.
but why would they? I mean, they're gaining market share year over year, so I don't blame them. But this was released this year, and this was almost the spurring moment that created this to be the year of the GMT. And why this one is special, for one, different bezel that they've ever done, black and green, but also, what's going on here?
Exactly.
The crown.
What is going on there?
It's like the lefty.
Yes.
This is their lefty. So this, I would say, probably one of the more daring releases for Rolex standards, which again is not the craziest of standards for going outside of the box, but this is out there for them.
It's
cool.
very out there and became an immensely popular watch overnight because basically you're wearing the crown on your left hand, but it's a lefty. And I think...
Is that your first left-handed watch? And
No, I've got other pieces.
what do you think of wearing that as somebody, because you're right-handed, correct?
I am, correct.
Does it bother you?
No, not at all. I like the uniqueness of it. Obviously, I like the look of it. But of course, I can't wear this on television, which is why I have not yet installed, it'll be being put on next week, a rubber bead. They do the best integrations with Rolex. I don't own any of this company. I just think they do a great job. And I don't rep them in any way other than to say I use them because they're really, really good bands. It'll end up on this piece. This will be in season 15 of Shark Tank, but I love it. And I've worn it, around the house with the steel band on it.
Very nice.
But you have to like the way that looks.
I do, and I like the green and black bezel. I think it's sharp, and I don't know if that would annoy me or not when I would flex in my wrist, but I've never really given a lefty a good shot.
Well, if you're going to give a lefty a good shot, it would be this one. Panerai also does this, and I have
Tudor has one as well.
I have a Panerai one as well. But I think for Rolex to do this, it's a breakout, and I think it's a very collectible piece. Countless people have called me about this piece saying, "Would you like to sell it?" I just got it. It's a 2022.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't sell any of my pieces, but that's going to be a favorite for no question.
Very nice.
While we're talking about Rolex, just a shout out for the classic steel white face Daytona. This is the most popular watch I've ever worn on Shark Tank in terms of reviews from people who love the show. It really pops. Wardrobe loves it. It's been in every season. And this year, it will be auctioned at the Phillips auction for charity in December. I anticipate the piece is going to do very, very well. It will come with the original red band and all the original papers and the box. All the charity goes to the Dr. Martin Solomon Initiative in Boston, a doctor that has a great legacy for training younger doctors, and I want the proceeds to go there.
That's great.
And I think watch out for this watch at Phillips Austin. The minute I get the link, I'll be posting it all over my social. Now, let's talk about Tudor. Just less than a year ago, sitting in this very store, this incredible, iconic location for watches here in New York, Tudor Brooker. This is an amazing place. If you, this is a museum, a retail location, and if you're looking for a watch, every single brand you could ever want and price point you could want is here. So I'm doing a shout out for the store because it's a gorgeous location to shoot. However, recently, Teddy was trying to talk me into Tudor, and I said, no, Teddy, no.
Get some pushback. You weren't about it.
And I said, I go Rolex.
February 2020, last year when I launched, and so I've been building it out. Only last, let's say December, when I started getting really serious with content of social media from your book. So
You mean December? Wait a minute. You mean December like 4 minutes ago? Like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, pretty much like
Okay.
last month is when I read your
Okay.
book, and that's when I got like real serious with like on all the platforms. I'm on like on 10 platforms now versus like 2 that I was posting before. And so I want to say, from when you mentioned cohorts in your book, let's say when as a new startup, when you really don't know who your audience is and creating your cohorts, how would you go about that as like a startup?
Common
Just look at
sense.
the analytics
Common
on
sense.
social.
Common sense. You know who goes to the gym?
Yeah.
You're going to need guys and girls. Then you're going to need, Caucasians, African Americans, Latinos, and then you're going to go into, people that care about sports or food or music. Like, you get to pick. Then you play for a little bit because now you're thinking about them when you make the content. So when I make a piece of content, sometimes I'm thinking about that 17-year-old dude that's a fucking D student like I was, and I'm making that content. Other times I'm like, I'm going to make this for the moms who are 42, who think their life is over, and those girls haven't even fucking started. Another time I'm going to make it for somebody who's 61, who's literally sitting in their house fucking depressed, watching bullshit television, thinking their life's over and they're going to live for 30. Then I'm thinking about first generation Mexican immigrant living in San Antonio whose parents don't speak English, who's 14 getting straight A's and working at fucking Walmart and fucking grind. Like, when I make content, I think about who the fuck am I making this for? You don't know who you're make to you.
Gotcha. And the key, like you said, is always as much as you can. It's not like I know something else is like,
How old are you? Not that you'll remember. People don't post enough is they still think life cool. Someone's gonna make fun of them.
and that's taking something I've taken to heart. That now I'm just posting like, you know what? I don't even care what people say. It's like the ones who's gonna hate, they're always gonna hate. Screw them. I'm just gonna focus on just creating
Bro.
value.
The ones that hate, you should not feel bad for yourself. You should feel bad for them. Could you imagine being a human being that goes around the internet and leaves comments of hate? That is the most depressing fucking life on earth. Good luck.
Appreciate you.
Stay
Gary.
well.
Thank you.
Take care.
Love you.
Oh my God. All right. Yes. What's that? People are saying they want to ask a question. You have to use the question mark. Ask me a question in the comments here and whatnot. Hey, Owen Burns, Jennifer Hawkins on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can't ask a question because you're not on Whatnot. You see the Gary Vee account now posting? You got to go to GaryVee.com/whatnot. Download the app. If nothing else, you will learn. If nothing else, you'll tell your sister that sells fucking candles on the side to fit up for carrot. Like, all 500 of you on Instagram Live right now, I have no idea why you're hanging out there. Get over to Whatnot and TikTok. All of you need to get over it. It's GaryVee.com/whatnot if you want to ask questions, get the full experience. And also, if you want to buy the Chill Chinchilla, I want to do a giveaway. That's going to get people's. That's when everyone on every other social network is going to get sad. Fuck. Coming out, Cass. Do we know yet? About a month? End of this month? Yeah, I've learned my lesson. In about a month. All right, let me just auto this. If you go to eBay, you'll realize you can flip this now for $200. This is free $200. Brady Ghost, exclusive VeeFriends caps. These fly. This is now live. The giveaway is live. It's right here. Just literally, it's free. Click. Everyone that's not, you're a sucker. You're a sucker if you're not on Whatnot. That's right, Kyle. I see you reacting. You're a sucker if you're not on Whatnot right now. Go to GaryVee.com/whatnot and get this giveaway. 4 minutes left in the giveaway. I'm about to answer another person's question. 4 minutes left for this. Pretty Ghost, you'll be the first to have it in the country. All right, let's have some fun. Who's got the next? Rachel, it's not too many apps. Rachel says too many apps. Rachel, it's not too many apps. What do you mean too many apps? Is it so hard to press a button, double click,